What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are back again with another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be against Rosie, a person I battle off my Discord server. So if you guys are interested in a Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle and trade a community chat room and a place to hang out and find Wi-Fi battles and meet new people, feel free to check out my Discord. A link is in the description. Now, me and Rosie are having an underused tier battle today. A bit of a treat for you guys, because I bet you guys are sick of seeing RU. Now, me and Rosie are both packing some pretty standard-looking UU teams. I am using a pretty fun Liepard set and a pretty fun Crocodile set as well, as my opponent's team looks pretty damn threatening, and I was expecting the Jolteon to lead off, so I led off with my Crocodile on the off chance that my opponent wanted to lead off with something else, so I wouldn't get punished by leading with Swampert. So I don't know. My opponent does end up leading off with Gliscor, a little bit of a questionable lead, but I guess it works out, as I'm just going to lead off with my Crocodile, and I do carry the Intimidate on this Crocodile instead of Moxie, because I figured, I don't know, Intimidate seems more useful to have, and I don't know. So, turn one, I'm just like, I'm going to knock off. I don't care if this Gliscor goes for Substitute, I should outspeed this thing, and if I can knock off this thing's Toxic Orb, that is phenomenal. So we are able to knock off the Gliscor's Toxic Orb turn 1, which is why I thought leading off with Gliscor was semi-questionable without Protect, but he's able, or she's able to get up her Stealth Rocks. As now I'm going to bring in my Swampert here, my DPP Pert, or my DP Pert. It's supposed to be referencing Diamond Pearl, because this moveset is pretty much copy and paste set from my Diamond Pearl days. So yeah, the Gliscor is going to U-turn out of here, and my opponent is going to bring in the Blastoise onto my Swampert. Now, Swampert should be able to tank a hit or two from Mega Blastoise, but I could lay up Stealth Rocks on this thing as well, but Blastoise likely carries Rapid Spin, as it's usually the only reason why you're running Mega Blastoise on your team, so I'm going to choose to withdraw and bring in What's Gudra, expecting the Scald or Hydro Pump or something from the Blastoise, as my opponent is going to Mega Evolve here, not too surprising, into Mega Blastoise. And yeah, I should be able to tank whatever my opponent wants to go for here, as my game lags with the Mega Animation there. So yeah, Blastoise is going to go for the Scald onto my Gudra. I am going to be able to face tank this easily, because Gudra just eats up hits for breakfast, man. Any special attack that flies in its direction, it just does not care. Blastoise is going to go for the Ice Beam here. I should be able to tank this, as I'm able to, and I do carry the Thunderbolt. I actually carry Thunderbolt for Mantine and RU, but I guess it works out in this instance, as unfortunately I do critical hit my opponent, which definitely mattered, because Thunderbolt would not have been a 2-hit KO in this instance, but my opponent is going to go for the Ice Beam here, and he's actually going to get a revenge, freeze hacks on my Gudra, but Gudra's like, hell no, dude, I'm the Hacks Master, so I immediately thaw out, and now I'm going to go for the Draco Meteor, just on the off chance my opponent wants to withdraw and be cheeky and save her Blastoise and try to pivot into the Thunderbolt. So down goes the Blastoise, and Gudra's at very low HP, but we're able to deal with the Mega Blastoise, the main Rapid Spinner. I mean, Latias could carry Defog as well, but I'm assuming the Blastoise was the Hazard Remover, as Latias can carry an extra coverage move in place of Defog or Healing Wish or something. So Latias is going to come in here, and she's just going to knock me out with the Psyshock, so down goes my Gudra. Not too big of a deal. Blastoise being dead is definitely worth Gudra's life, as now I'm going to bring in low-key aids, my Klefki, and this is a dual screen Klefki set. It shouldn't be too surprising. There's not really too much like cool things you can do with Klefki. I'm just making this a support hork, so if I'm using Klefki for the fairy typing, I may as well just make it a support slut. So I'm going to lay up a layer of spikes, as my opponent has no method of removing the spikes at this point, and now I'm going to choose to go for Reflect, just so I can take an Earthquake with ease. I don't think this Gliscor's attack invested, but I could be wrong. But yeah, the Gliscor's going to go for a U-turn here, maybe expecting me to switch out, but I had no reason to switch out. I think Earthquake was a better play, but I guess my opponent really thought I was going to switch out, because I guess Gliscor on Klefki is not a good matchup at all, but I don't know. But in comes Jolteon, and I'm like, okay, well, I could just set up a light screen here. I mean, I don't really care about what you have to do. Light screen, gonna give me my Spadef boost, and I should be able to take a Life Orb Thunderbolt from Jolteon with ease, and yeah, Klefki just eats it up. I think I'm also like especially defensive as well, so I knew I could just tank whatever Jolteon had in store, and now I could just lay up another layer of spikes, because my opponent having no entry hazard remover, spikes are so broken when your opponent has no entry hazard removal. So Volt Switch, gonna take Life Orb damage there. And on my Klefki's at around half HP. I have to be careful to keep this thing healthy for Latias, because if this thing dies, my Dragon Resist is nothing, so I have to keep that in mind. So I'm not gonna stay in on this Gliscor here. I'm gonna bring in my Swampert, expecting Earthquake. This time around, I mean, if she wants to go for U-turn, so be it, but she's gonna go for Earthquake. And with Reflect Up, this Earthquake's actually going to do nothing. That did absolutely nothing. 24 damage, that's nothing at all. So, I can just lay off Stealth Rocks here pretty freely. I mean, I'm going to give my opponent a free Swishin, but I don't know how free it's going to be considering I have 2 layers of spikes on the field. Or is it 3 at this point? I think it's 3 layers of spikes. I could be wrong. I think it's only 2 layers of spikes. But yeah, my opponent's going to switch out. I'm bringing Latias. Immune to spikes. Good play. But now I'm going to lay up a layer of spikes. Or my Stealth Rocks here. My bad. And yeah, I'm going to lay up my I almost said Stealth Rocks, dude. Oh my god. Anyway, I don't want to stay in on the Latias because I don't want to take a Draco Meteor, but I am like, what if my opponent wants to predict me to switch into Klefki? But I'm like, I don't really care. I do resist both Latias stab, and if she carries HP Fire, she carries HP Fire. So she's going to go for Psyshock onto my Klefki, and it shouldn't be able to do too much damage to me thanks to the Reflect. And now I can just lay up my last layer of spikes, I'm pretty sure. Latias can't touch me, and I can go for a Thunder Wave as well, I guess, but I mean, I figured Gliscor is coming back in. And yeah, I'm going to lay up my last layer of spikes here. So now I have all my entry hazards up, my Stealth Rocks, and 3 layers of spikes. So good luck switching into anything, buddy. So unfortunate that I had to pressure my opponent like this and show you how broken entry hazards truly are. But I figured, you know, may as well lay them all up while I can. So I'm going to bring in my Swampert once again as my opponent is going to go for U-turn now. Good play. And that's going to do absolutely nothing. So my opponent is just slowly losing all of her Pokemon's HP. I mean, she's being smart and switching into her like levitators and flying Pokemon, but eventually those Pokemon are going to have to take them hazard damages, so you know how that goes. And DPP Perch should be able to take a Draco Meteor, but at the same time, I don't want to stay in and take a Draco, so I'm going to choose to switch out again and bring in my my Liepard, actually, expecting Psyshock. It was a very risky play, but it works out for me, as now I'm expecting my opponent to expect me to bring Klefki here, or just, you know, to bring an Infernape on the Dark type attack. So here, I'm actually going to go for the Copycat, as Infernape's going to take a crap ton of hazard damage. And with the Copycat, I'm going to actually take Latias's Psyshock that it used the previous turn, and just a prank, it's just going to go for the Psyshock onto Infernape, and after hazard damage, Infernape's just going to drop. Pretty satisfying there. As I am max special attack, so I kind of planned that out a little bit in my head. But yeah, in comes the Scizor, and I don't want to stay in on Scizor. I could Dark Pulse and do a really big chunk of damage to it because I am Life Orb, as I've shown, but I don't want to stay in, as I can use this thing to clean up late game if I play it properly. So I'm going to bring in low-key aids, my Klefki as Death Fodder basically, and I can get the Thunder Wave off on the Scizor. It would be a lot easier to deal with. My opponent does make a nice play, going for Sword Stance, knowing that I'm probably going to switch out. So I could have Encored her into Sword Stance there, so that could have been a risky move if I stayed and went for Dark Pulse, but I guess it worked out for her, so who am I to judge? And yeah, I'm going to lay up my Reflect here just because I need to get them 8 turns back, and take, you know, less damage from Bullet Punch is the best case scenario, as down goes my Klefki to the Bullet Punch. Unfortunate, but I mean, Klefki did a lot of work, got all 3 spikes up and screens up multiple times, so that's a pretty good showing of Klefki. Now, I'm probably never going to use it again because it's kind of like a cancer Pokemon to use, low-key, but I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be with like Swagger Foul Play at the very least. So I'm going to bring in Swampert here. I do carry Roar, as I don't think Swampert's going to take much from +2 Bug Bite with Reflect Up. Thankfully, I'm able to live and roar out the Scizor and bring in the Jolteon here. And Jolteon's not the Pokemon my opponent wanted to be roared into, that's for sure, as she's pretty much forced to sack it off. As if she switches out, she's going to take even more hazard damage upon switching again, and then she'll be at like no HP. And with Swampert and Crocodile still being alive, I don't see her wanting to save her Jolteon at all, as I'm right in that assumption. She's just going to go for Shadow Ball, try to kill me, but Swampert is very bulky, and I can just knock this thing out with the Scald. And yeah, down goes the Jolteon, thankfully. So the Swampert actually being pretty nice defensive core with the Klefki, as I found out. I mean, I figured, you know, I could resist fire, and that's pretty much all I need. I could resist grass with Klefki, and I could set up screens to support my team. So I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good defensive hazard core. And my opponent was pretty much overwhelmed by the entry hazards, as now in comes the Latias. She's just going to go for the Psyshock to knock out my Swampert, and that's fair enough. I got my hazards up, and I roared out the Scizor, so it pretty much did its job already. As now I'm able to bring in my Thug Life here, my Crocodile, and I'm not Choice Scarf Crocodile. I am a pretty cool set with Intimidate, as you'll see. It's not the most viable Crocodile set in the world, but it's still very fun to use. So Gladius is not going to want to stay in as I'm bluffing the Choice Scarf, right? So she's going to bring in her Gliscor here onto my Crocodile, as now I'm gonna go for the bulk up here. Seems kind of weird because she could have stayed and went for Draco Meteor on me, but I'm like, why would she stay in when she can just bring in her Gliscor that I already knocked off? So I was right, she brings in Gliscor, and now I'm gonna set up a bulk up here just because I'm like, yep, gonna get my defenses up. She's like, why do you have bulk up, Crocodile? And you'll see just in a moment why. So she's gonna go for U-turn. Big mistake on her part, as she's just gonna actually give me my weakness policy.
Let's go. Game over.
And you can see where this is going. She's gonna give me +2 in my offenses, and now I'm at +4 attack, +2 special attack, and that's pretty damn powerful. I'm also at +2 defense, so I have a lot of boost at the moment. So yeah, I'm just gonna go hope I could take a Draco Meteor from Latias. I mean, it's probably Soul Dew boosted, and I am max HP Crocodile, and thankfully Crocodile lives it with 33 HP. I mean, it's unfortunate I didn't have the light screen up there, but I'm gonna go for the power trip here, and this should easily knock out Latias. So yeah, that's the basis around this set. Use bulk up with Intimidate to get a lot of defensive boosts, and then just live the hit, get weakness policy, and then just hope you can sweep. Obviously, it's very weak to things that are faster than it, but I kind of removed this Pokemon from the playing field against, Infernape and Jolteon. And Latias was unable to kill me. Scizor's going to go for Bullet Punch after +4 defense, or +2 defense. With Reflect, I'm able to live Bullet Punch. And Power Trip is just going to knock out the Scizor. Down goes Scizor. And yeah, my opponent is just going to get swept by this Crocodile here. It's still a very cool showcasing of Crocodile, so I'm glad I got to show you guys this lovely magical set that's not very good, definitely not good, but it's definitely fun when you get it off. And Power Trip's going to knock out Gliscor, and we're able to win the battle against Rosie. So that was a pretty fun battle. I had a lot of fun playing the U tier, actually. I was expecting like Clefable. I mean, Scizor was in this battle, but like, it's not that bad. I was expecting like Clefable, Keldeo, but I mean, this battle was fun. I actually had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys did enjoy this battle. If you enjoyed this Wi-Fi battle and want to support my channel, please be sure to hit the like button, as it's the best way to support my YouTube channel. And yeah, the question of the day is going to be, what other battle formats would you guys like to see me play in the future and upload to my channel? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys are getting sick of RU, so if you want to see like more overused battles, I'm probably not going to do Little Cup, because it's really hard for me to get Little Cup Pokemon because I don't gen them, and it's really hard to get battle ready Little Cup Pokemon unless you gen them, so it's a little bit obnoxious. And Ubers, I guess I could do Ubers if I like take the time to look through my Pokebank. I do have some battle ready Ubers. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what battle format you want to see me play, and I'll check you guys in my next video. Alright, peace.